Hey friends, today I'm gardening with Creekside. We are in production mode. We are up here at the production annex. You can see the lovely potting machine behind me. Today, the goal is to fill hanging baskets. We have a huge delivery of Proven Winter Annuals arriving to us later this week, and so we are going to do a little bit of prep work. We're going to fill roughly close to 500 hanging baskets this morning. We are actually short some hanging basket pots, about 170 pots short. Hopefully they will arrive today. That is just a kind of a constant norm here, is that you're trying to get your supplies and everything, and then sometimes you have them and sometimes you don't, even though they've been ordered for a long time, ever since 2020. You know how the supply chain goes. So what we're going to do is show you what we're going to do with these hanging baskets and getting them prepped. We are not putting any plants in them today because we don't have any plants. They are going to arrive probably Wednesday, so that means we will pot on Thursday. So to give you just a little bit of an idea of what is happening here, I will show you all the details as we go. I'm going to try to be both a filmer and a worker today. Jerry's over here. He's going to be the pot feeder, and he's got all of the hanging baskets that we're going to be filling up today. We have got 100 of the 16-inch cocoa lined baskets. These will each receive 6 plugs in them. We will use them with the Proven Winners recipe. So they are there, and then we have lots of the green pots. These are 10-inch containers, and depending on the recipe or what we're going to do with them, they'll either receive 3 plugs or 6 for the recipe. So basically he's going to take these pots and he will feed them in through the machine right here. We've already set up the rails for the right distance between those 16-inch pots. Once he turns it on, then the soil will drop from right here. The little whirligig brush will clean off the top, and then it will go on down to the production line, and then that's where we will be catching the pots, moving them down, and for the time being we are going to go ahead and put them on the trailers rather, and then we will put the hangers on them. So without further ado, we are going to get things going here. All right, my friends, so we got the 100, look at them, aren't they all pretty over there? The 100 of the 16-inch cocoa lined baskets are nice and filled, and the hangers are on them, so now we just are waiting on plants. Jerry is over here doing a little tutorial on how to put the metal hangers on the 10-inch baskets, because there is a certain way to do that so that they're all even. Now obviously that's a broken pot, so that's a good demo. So the wire hangers are a 3-prong, which if you've got to make sure, sorry y'all, You've got to make sure that they are turned the right way so that the basket will hang correctly. And then if you can see down there at the bottom where the wire will have a little divot in it, that is the indicator of where you bend it over on the green pot so that the basket hangs nice and evenly, because the last thing you want is your hanging basket to be hanging crooked. So we're gonna fire up the machine again. He has already gotten it nice and adjusted. So let's see how this goes. Now that we have Randy up here, she was down inspecting all the annuals. So now she's up here with us. Another set of hands is great. And we've got the conveyor running first. So that's kind of the first thing you do is you get your conveyor running. If there's any soil left on the conveyor, it'll drop in this bucket. We've got to get a little bit of a wider one, but that's all right. It works for now. So this one's going. Jerry's turning on the machine. Let's see if I can show you how this all works. We're going to try the brush attachment on these. We didn't have it on the other baskets because they weren't very stable. So Josh is lowering the brush so that way it gets in there nice and evenly and then brushes off any excess. So you can see it slowly going down. Oh, that's nice. That's perfect right there. So that is the perfect amount for the brush, because you can see how nice and even the soil is with the pots, and that is exactly what we want. So at this point, it is perfect. Jackson knows it's perfect. So at this point, what we do is we're just letting them run down, and Jackson's pulling them off just because they're a little different.
Stuck right there.
They get stuck, and so he needs to pull them off, because if they get stuck here, then they back up there, which is a disaster. So at this point, what we're doing is Randy is shuttling them down, and then Roman is starting to go ahead and put the hangers on. So we're just going to continue this process. Brenna thinks that she is the overseer, the foreman, the forewoman of this job. So we've got 400 something of these to do. So time to get to work. All right, my friends, so we got all the hanging baskets filled for today. It is a beautiful sight for us growers to have all of these baskets nice and full. I think we lost count somewhere, but I think there's like 400 and something of those guys, and then we have 100 of the 16-inch pots. So they are all done. Now, what is the next step? We have that nice gorgeous delivery coming from Pleasant View Gardens on, we believe it's going to come on Wednesday, so we'll start potting up on Thursday and just knock it all out. But really, then it's pretty easy. We'll go ahead and get the soil dampened down before we put those little plugs in there. The plugs will go in, and depends on what the basket's going to be. So let's say we're going to do a mono basket. Let's say it's just going to be bubble gum. Well, there may be only like 2 or 3 in there, or if it's the Super Bell's yellow, there'll be 3 plugs in each one of these baskets. Some of these will have the Proven Winners recipe containers, and so therefore there will be 6 plants in those baskets, because with the Proven Winner recipes, you will have 3 different kinds of plants, and then there's 2 of each plant. So 2 times 3 is 6. So there'll be 6 plants in there. That's why we recommend for folks, if they, especially if you can move up your hanging basket to a larger hanging basket, it really does help extend and less watering on your part. That's why in those cocoa liners, as a 16-inch basket, that you can leave it in there for the rest of the season and it'll be okay. So we will get them in there. Then we're going to keep them on the ground for a while, because when we hang them up on the rafters, we can't see what their water levels are, right? Because they're up high. So if you will see all of those white tubes hanging down, those are all the drippers. And then up on the rails, we will have hooks. So we got to come in here and make sure that all the hooks are where they're supposed to be, and make sure that each basket, once it gets established and those plants are happy, then they will go up onto a dripper, and at that point we can use the irrigation to water them, we can fertilize them, and they will hang out. So we will have hanging baskets in both this production number 2. We'll have them next door in production number 1. This is where we just jam pack them in here. And then we will also have them at the retail garden center as well. Typically, they will start being ready. We like to sell them no sooner, like we want them at just hanging over the edge of the pot with lots of good color. A lot of people are very anxious to get them sometimes. So like mid-April, we could start, well, early April, we could start selling them. Just depends. Definitely the longer we hold on to them, the bigger and the fuller they get, and we grow some nice big huge massive hanging baskets. But it feels good to have this done. We're off to go have some lunch, and then we're going to tackle another project working on the annex, trying to wrap that project up as well. So anyway, hope you found this fun, interesting. If you buy a hanging basket from your local garden center, just know that there was a lot of work that went into bringing you that beautiful hanging basket. As always, thanks so much for gardening with Creekside. Y'all have a fantastic day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.